How long has it been? Oh, well today, I'm back. I want to discuss how Aus Smash has changed since this moment.
He did it! He's your Band 13 champion, Jura!
This moment is inconsequential on its own, but with the context of all of these tournaments...
Oh my god, Canaclave! Tricks wins Big Cheese 4!
Guys and gals, grand finals, that is a wrap.
Bad, and the backhand pokes!
Shield poke.
Kanaji winning super duper sunshine.
It's not letting himself get put into it. The backhand is gonna do it.
Oh,
No,
the
it was
C4!
there, dude.
Recovery. Cat, yeah.
He's alive, but this is it.
Oh, wait, he's going low with it.
What,
Oh, wait, he's still
attack
here?
with the bomb?
There's a discussion to be had. These grand finals have happened since my video recaps went away. I want to expand a bit beyond the grand finals and discuss how Oz Majors have changed. A big thing since BAM 13 has been the amount of new faces reaching new peaks. That's the meat and potatoes of today's topic. How has Aus Smash changed? Today we'll take a look through the results of Majors, how BAM 13 was a turning point, and what it means going forward in Smash Ultimate. Let's jump right in. Let's get back to basics for a RavSav video. Here's some background on the history of Aus Smash post-quarantine. Now, I'm going to repeat some stuff I said in my Why Aus Smash is Currently So Exciting article on Medium, so if you haven't read that, go check it out. So just like everyone else, Australia went into lockdown in March 2020. Some joined in on the fun of Wi-Fi tournaments, some did their own grind, and some did not play the game and just did other things.
This guy.
Unlike the likes of Japan, Europe, and the US, Australia's majors took far longer to return. A big part of this was thanks to the two biggest scenes in the country, Victoria and New South Wales. These two states were in and out of lockdowns for far longer, with New South Wales ending their final lockdown in early October 2021, and Victoria ending theirs at the end of October 2021. Add on the limited number of people allowed in venues, and WA's restrictions lasting far longer, and what you got was a far longer wait. The wait would be over in May of 2022 when the first post-quarantine major occurred. Battle Arena Melbourne 12 had 343 players, and saw J Dizzle hoist the crown in a monster losers run. 2022 saw 4 majors, as J Dizzle, Neotono, Ghost, and Jix were the 4 major winners. 2023 continued to see more majors as Shrix and Ghost won, and then came the turning point. BAM 13. Duro getting his first major win was big, but it was also a change as it was the first time a top 8 featured no new players. 23 players had previously gotten to the prestigious part of bracket, post-quarantine, but for the first time in 8 majors, there was no new blood in the top 8. Australia got back on track at New South Wales major Floating Point, where Kanaji won and 3 new players reached top 8. Big Cheese 4 followed suit with a whopping 5 new players in top 8. Pissmas 4 rounded out 2023 with 3 new top 8ers. 2024 was next, as Super Duper Sunshine, the Game Expo, the Action 2, Fist, and BAM 14 all saw new top 8ers. Since BAM 13's top 8 dry spell, there's been a further 21 new top 8ers. Let's talk about why, now that we're caught up. Before I get into what I think are the reasons behind how Aus Smash has changed, I thought I'd see what the people think. Let's look at the responses. Static said, consistent grind over years giving rise to advantage states closer to pros, and Bracket Demons falling out of the picture due to waning attendance and seeding looks like the most obvious observation, in my opinion. Flo said, average major numbers are down from 150 to 100, with less interstate travel, except Vic kinda. Top level is heavily concentrated in Vic, even more so when you consider New South Wales' trio of top players not travelling much or at all. So if top level Vic doesn't go to your tourney, you end up with the Action and Big Cheese 4, where the internal top level isn't good enough to stave off high level Victorians or top level of other states. So you end up with new top 8ers, where they would normally just be gatekept by Sebpro or Didi. Also, since the top level is condensed in Vic, there's an improvement mindset ingrained in enough people. It's much easier for high or mid-level players to step up to the next level compared to other states, which furthers the gap, like Malakoff, Scobo, Zach, a top level now. The big working theory is players have grinded so much to this point that now with some players going out of the scene or competing less, there's more room for new players to hit new peaks, particularly at events when numbers are down or less Victorian top level are attending. An interesting conclusion to come to. So here's my thoughts. A big point I really think is cool is how Aus Smash continues to fight being a small scene in an era where there's people in your ear telling you the game sucks, or the meta sucks, or top level makes the game unfun, or any other number of things to deter you from playing Smash Ultimate. Australia hasn't seen a major above 200 people since BAM 13. However, there's still been a unique shape to each major since that momentous event. Floating Point had one of the greatest top 64s I've ever seen, and even saw me getting ratioed by myself. Big Cheese 4 reveled in the chaos of round robin pools, and saw many hardworking players finally break down the top 8 door. Pismas 4 was the perfect finish to 2023, and saw Australia's frontman for content, Mast, finally get his reward for effort. Super Duper Sunshine cemented Kanaji as the top dog in Australia, and Game Expo showed how Australia isn't that far off the best in the world. The action gave rise to all the next generation talent that top level gatekeeps. Fish showed what hidden talent is bubbling below the surface, and BAM 14 gave us another look at Australia's new talent set to take over soon. Despite the fact all 8 of these majors went well below 200 entrants, and even 3 of them were below 100 entrants, Australia has been able to combat the age of the game by consistently creating new storylines which give every major its own unique shape. The fight between Kanaji and J Dizzle to be number 1, the fight of the old guard of Smash 4 veterans and new players raised on Ultimate, plus the Wi-Fi era doing well, and just a general chase by other states to knock Victoria off their perch. There are so many stories left to play out. Aus Smash has changed as the storylines have taken center stage since BAM 13 fizzled out. Next, let's talk about players achieving huge new peaks. A runoff effect of many names stepping back has meant new players, or those grinding for a long time, end up becoming the players who get to make deep runs at majors. It's really easy to discredit these players as just getting easier paths to big runs, but I like to think of it as reward for effort. Now, we've already looked at those who've cracked top 8 since BAM 13. Here's those who've made it to a good placement for a strong run. Top 16. Of the 64 spots available across 9th to 13th place at these 8 majors, a whopping 25 of those spots go to players who've never achieved a top 16 before. It's equally impressive when you remember that there's already been 44 players in the top 8 in the post-quarantine era who are still very likely to fill up the top 16 when they don't make top 8. There's not a lot of real estate for new players to achieve new peaks. The cool aspect of smaller majors is how the fight for new peaks is fiercer than it's ever been. So many players who can reach top 8, top 12, and top 16 has occurred thanks to how Australia's skill level has drastically improved. As I've already mentioned, no major since BAM 13 has had 200 or more players enter, with Floating Point's 176 entrant event being the biggest. What this would lead you to believe is that less people at events mean that it's easier to go on a run. It's actually the opposite. It definitely varies major to major what the talent pool looks like, but overall, being in the 6th year of the game, most of the people who still stick around are quite good. Particularly at this year's events, most of the players fighting for spots in day 2 have much tougher runs, as now there's a lot less low level in these brackets, which means that going 0-2 could be you losing to 2 ranked players. Another runoff effect of this is that pools have become so much more exciting when the day 2 qualifiers and even some of the earlier rounds are producing ultra competitive sets. So basically, yeah, there's less people going to majors, but almost everyone who is going poses a massive challenge to whoever ends up in their bracket path. This now leads us into one final question. Where does Australian Smash Ultimate go from here? There's a lot of potential right now. Between the big storylines around Kanaji vs J Dizzle, young and old, and other states fighting to take Victoria down, there's still so much to play out. There are still many players yet to hit their peaks in Australia. How exciting is that? Until Ultimate has its swan song, you have no idea what the remaining Australians are capable of. Thinking just about top 16, there have been 59 unique players in that group, and there is still so much room for many more. People do like to discuss when the end of Ultimate is. It could be in a year, could be longer. I don't really care about that, when I know Australia still has plenty of majors to go. This year alone, we have 4 coming up inside the next 3 months. It's very exciting. I'm going to keep rocking up to tournaments and trying to hit new peaks. I'm going to keep talking about these majors and enjoy how these storylines play out. There's never been a better time to watch Australian Smash Ultimate. So that's that. How has Aus Smash changed since BAM 13? In simple terms, the player pool rotating has enabled more storylines and more players to flow through in these brackets. It's a really cool time to be part of Aus Smash. Be sure to check back on this scene in about 2 weeks' time when Phantom kicks off at the start of July. That's a wrap on this one though. If you enjoyed it, like it, tell a friend, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.